In the past, there's definitely been a feeling that parents should stay away from coaches. This idea of, what each sport's asking for. Like, I talk to parents a lot, and there's the parent with the child who's like, well, I'm in this program that wants this many hours and this program that wants this many hours, and both of them want me to prioritize that program, and that's too many hours to sort of be doing. And for me, and I realize this is a bit of an idealistic statement, but in as I've said to you before, Kelly, if anyone's going to do it, New Zealand is. We'll get to a point where sports clubs and sports organizations will talk to parents, and a parent, you can say, look, this is what's being asked of my child. If they do all of these things, they're going to be injured, they're going to burn out, they're not going to be able to perform well. How do we make this work in one schedule? Because actually, as we know, going through all of the literature, maintaining a couple of sports can really help you succeed in one, and helping people understand that, I think, is important. But that all comes down to relationships. And in the past, there's definitely been a feeling that parents should stay away from coaches. They shouldn't engage too much. But, I'm glad to see, and I would really encourage this change where actually as a parent and a coach, as parents and parents, as sports organizations, we're actually recognizing that, it's a team effort. We talk about raising a child taking a village. Well, raising a child who plays sport definitely takes a whole town. We need everyone. We need everyone working together. And so as a parent, engaging with the coach, talking to the coach early in the season, and hopefully as a coach, they'll be talking to you too, setting expectations, discussing, what the philosophy is. Because if your child's coach's philosophy isn't one that fits with you, you don't have to stay. I know that's very easy to say, but you can look elsewhere, or you can talk to other parents about, actually, is this something that we want to address? So, developing those relationships, having open and honest communication within boundaries. Phoning a coach at 8 p.m. on a Sunday night's probably not going to go down all that well, but waiting for a time which is agreed to have a conversation, is probably going to work well. So, as a parent, taking care of those relationships and focusing on communication all the way through, from communicating with your child, communicating with your spouse if you have one, or partners or family members, communicating to other parents, and communicating with coaches is really going to help you hopefully be able to provide the very best experience for your child.
And so one of the questions that's come through on here is how to balance the difference of opinions between coaches and parents without negatively impacting on kids as well, so how you navigate that conversation.
So firstly, always in private. So, if you as a parent are concerned around coaching decisions, or you have different views, never raise them in front of a child, no matter how old the child is, because you don't want to impact your relationship with the child, and you don't want to impact the child's relationship with the coach. So I would always raise them in private, and I would try and arrange them in a scheduled manner. And it's about approaching those conversations with a real, genuine desire to understand the other person's point of view. So why is the coach thinking this? Not, I think this, and you therefore need to think this. So it's how we approach situations, and it comes back again to that idea of being responsive. So I talked about parent-child relationships being responsive, but as a parent and a coach, that relationship needs to be responsive too. The two parties need to validate, need to understand, need to care about each other, so that you can approach disagreements or differences of opinion with a genuine desire to understand, well, why have we got these differences of opinions? And can we find a middle ground? And if we can't, is the best decision actually to go, different ways?
Yeah, because I think it's the important part here is it's about putting that child at the centre of this. That there are adult relationships, but actually what's best for this young person at the centre of what we're doing.
Yeah, and often, and I've worked on this a lot in different situations. Often you can turn to the child. It's a little easier in individual sports, I'll acknowledge that, and ask them, well, what are you thinking about this? And they're, they often have very clear opinions or very clear views, or it's not worrying them. Things that are worrying us as parents, we put our parent emotion onto things, and sometimes it's not worrying a child at all. So, you're exactly right. We want to put the child at the center there.